What's up? What's up? What's up? Been a minute. Just want to talk to you guys about my experience with COVID. Yeah, so maybe about 2 weeks ago, I forgot what day it was. And I don't normally get headaches or nothing like that. I just start getting massive, like, migraines, super heavy headaches. And the next day after that, I started having the headaches kept going, and the back of my throat started hurting a lot. So thank goodness for the wife on her toes, knowing what's going on out here. I got tested and realized I had COVID. So I will tell you, everybody's experience is different. The first thing I want to say is, man, when we out here, man, wear your mask, whether you're vaccinated or not. Wear your mask, because my experience with something, the way my body takes it, could be completely different than the way yours. You can get COVID and don't have no symptoms and everything's fine, and you out here and you're at David Buster's and whatever you're doing, and you could be spreading this virus. So we got to use a joint effort with everybody to try and contain this. So I don't even know how I got it, because I always wear my mask, and I have been doing a lot of stuff around that time, going to SeaWorld and David Buster's and all kind of stuff that we was doing. So I couldn't tell you, but I always kept my mask on. So I mean, it could have been, I don't know, I could have took it down for 1 second to eat when I was at David Buster's something, and the waitress, I have no idea. But I ended up getting it, and everybody in the house was, eventually ended up having it, because I guess, maybe I got it first and then it spread to them, or we all got the same time, but maybe they wasn't showing any symptoms, because with kids, usually, they don't really show symptoms as fast. The symptoms usually aren't as bad as an adult. But for me, with the COVID, the main things I want to point out that I went through was I had massive headaches, I had chest pain, which that was worrying me, because nobody want to have chest pains, and the headaches was going crazy. My throat, coughing. I think on my third day, I ran through a brief stint of shortness of breath, which had me really scared, because that's one of the things that people talk about all the time, shortness of breath, going into the hospital. And I didn't want to go into the hospital, so I was trying my best to try to stay focused and do all the things that I needed to do, which is like which I got some good hints, good advice from Allie, which is my wife's friend. She's a nurse in the COVID unit. She gave us some good advice on vitamins, like vitamin D, take vitamin D, vitamin C, zinc, and then and also to laying down. So what I would do was I wouldn't lay on my back flat. I would lay on my sides, but I spent a lot of time laying on my stomach, which hurt me a lot, because you lay on your stomach so much, your back end up hurting. So I spent days, without laying on my back, and that helps as far as with your lungs, and as far as like the fluids in your lungs, and which I think helped out a lot too. Those were some of the symptoms that I had, and I'm gonna be honest with you, man, I was scared, man, because you just don't never know how your body's gonna take it. So I want to say on my third day, my son Marcus ended up coming through, and he came through, and he was super scared. It had me scared. He was in there crying, and it helps you put life in perspective when you're facing something like that, because you just don't know. Like, you just don't know. Like, man, you're in there, and you like that third day, when I was shortness of breath and bad headaches, it makes you think, like, man, like, is this it? Like, you got to put your life in perspective, and I know I did, and I'm thankful for God that he got me through that, and my faith, I would probably say faith is one of the biggest things that got me through it too, because a lot of times we talk about the physical symptoms that you go through when you go through with the COVID, but when you isolate and you're going through COVID, and it's a lot of anxiety, it's a lot of unknown, and the mental part is, to me, was probably just as important as going through the physical symptoms, because when you sit in that room, especially if you isolated like I was, you sit in that room by yourself for days, anxiety is heavy. Depression is real. I know I went through a state. I was definitely kind of depressed, and fear, being in fear for your life. All that stuff's real, man. But my faith in God helped me from letting that get too crazy and just pulling it back within perspective and not going too crazy as far as with the depression and the fear. And I remember this little church thing I wrote by this church that had faith over fear. So I linked a lot on my faith to get me through that. So I just want to come to you guys, man, tell you guys, man, when you go through, COVID is real. Keep your mask on, man. Vitamin D, vitamin C, zinc, laying on your sides, not on your back and on your stomach. That helped me out a lot too. And also too, not being in bed for hours and hours at a time. I would be in bed for maybe 45 minutes, an hour. I would get up, walk around 5-10 minutes, and I would do that also too through the night, like when I wake up, because I was drinking so much fluid. I forgot to talk about fluid. I drank a lot of fluids, Pedialyte, water. I don't think I drank no Gatorade. I think my son was drinking Gatorade. Pedialyte and water, really what I was on. Lots of fluids, lots of fluids, and getting up out of that bed, not getting stuck in that bed, walking around 5 minutes, 10 minutes. Also, too, another thing I was doing was I would take 15 minutes a day, and I would go out and I would just lay in the sun and let the sun get me, because the sun help replenishes the body. That's another key thing too. But those things right there, and also to the mental part, man, keeping your mind in the right space, not letting your mind go down that dark tunnel, keeping faith. Whatever you got to lean, I leaned on faith, and I thank God for the faith that he gave me to help get me through. That definitely was a huge part for mental, because anxiety, depression, all that stuff is real when you sit in that bed, and the unknown or the fear, that stuff's real. So I just want to check in with you guys, let you guys know what's been going on. Today is like one of my first days I came out, and I came out to my spot that I go to. This spot's just is a really good spot for me. I come out here and look at it. Let's see if you can see that. I'm out here in Lake Wells. I drove down to the big Lake Wells. This is a great here and able to relax and just try to clear my mind. But man, guys, stay strong. Don't lose faith, man. You can get through it. I got through it. My whole family got through it. It can be bad, but man, if you do the right things and keep your mind the right way, just believe in God, man. He'll bring you through it. Peace.